Hello everybody, it's Sandy here. Just bear with me for a minute while I make sure I've got everything sorted out here. I've got a totally new filming setup and I'm not quite sure how it's going to go. It's got a light and I've actually got a glare on this, but then that's under plastic, so that might make a difference. It might be okay when it comes out of the plastic. I'm just going to try with the lights off. Hold on one tick. Nope, just the same. Okay, hopefully that glare will go away. Anyway, how is everybody? I hope everyone's enjoyed this weekend and managed to learn a few bits and pieces from all of the different presentations. I know I have. I've learned a lot from the girls, a few new techniques, and a few things that I didn't know you could do. Who knew that you could stick all that washi tape together and get those beautiful pictures that Naomi got on those cards? They were amazing. Just hang on, I've got a couple of things to set up. Techniques. And a few things that I didn't know you could do. Hang on, I've got to turn the sound off my computer. Get those beautiful pictures that Okay, I think we're good to go. Okay, as you know, today's the last day of Natalie's Extravaganza, which has been terrific. And I'm going to put together a little journal page for you using a page in my, I think it's called the Perfect Size Art Journal. It's an Art by Marlene one. And I will post all of the products that I've been using when I'm finished so that you can see and I can link to them so you can go straight to them. And order yourselves some bonuses, some bargains before it all finishes tonight. I think we've got through till midnight tonight before it closes. So as you can see, there's lots of specials still going, 15% off a lot of these things. How many is that? 40% off Natalie May Dyes. That's a pretty good one. Mega clearance. There's some really good products in there. Things that there might just be one left, couple left, and it's little things that you haven't thought of grabbing. You can get them out of there. Christmas, you can get set up for Christmas next year and start making your cards and all of your journal pages. Lots of things on offer anyway. So, excuse my messy table here. I'm working on a puppy mat. What do you call them? I can't even think what they're called. But anyway, puppy training pad. And they're fantastic because if you spill anything, it just wipes it up. It's easy. So this is my page out of my journal. And this is the girl I'm going to be using. She's one of Nat's beautiful collage papers, and her name's Janelle. So we'll start with her, and the first thing we need to do is put some white gesso onto the page. And the white gesso just seals off your page, and it makes it easier when you're putting things on there. The paint won't soak in so much, and you really need to do it. There's different ways of doing this. Some people use a rubber spatula. I like to use this brush, same brush I always use for this, and just put it on fairly evenly. Doesn't have to be perfect at all, and just get that covered, and it will dry pretty quickly, but it'll just make all your work look a lot better, and it'll mean that your paints won't soak in and you won't use so much paint either. So we'll just leave that for a second. As I said, you don't have to be too fussy. You don't have to go right to the edges or anything like that. So that's that one done. And I'm using the Dina Wakeley Media white gesso, which I really like. It's lovely and smooth. And we need that to dry for a second. I'm just going to check a couple of settings. Hold on one sec. Who have we got? We've got Susan. Hello. Michelle. Michelle, you're always in here. You're amazing. Marilyn, Tegan. Oh, thanks, Tegan. I'm glad that you've tuned in to check on me and make sure I'm going okay. I'm just going to refresh my screen. Can everybody see okay? I don't know what I've done now because I've lost all my comments. This is only my second live, so I am still practicing, but I am getting there. I'm just going to hit my heat tool on this for a little while just to dry it off so that we can keep moving. And when I come to do this, I'm going to pick my colours by the colours that are already in this collage paper. And it just gives you a good guide so that you know what you want to do and so that everything matches. It all blends in really well. And I'm just going to pop that to one side to dry while we do a water tear on this beautiful collage. So to do your water tear, you just dip a brush in water. My water's off to the side here. And you just go around the girl. It gives a nice even, no, not even, a nice rough edge to work with, which is a lot better because if you cut it, it's going to be very straight and very even, and it's hard to hide those edges when you're actually doing your piece of work, your journal page. I think I'm a bit tired tonight. We've had a really busy weekend, so my brain's not working properly, so bear with me. I'm feeling a bit nervous, but I will settle down. And so once you've wet that, you just tear it. You tear it away at the edges, and it leaves a nice rough edge. I call it a rough edge, which blends in so much better on your pages. You just need to kind of keep your finger on that left-hand side there while you're tearing it so that you don't tear any bits that you don't want to tear. So if you want those pieces to stay there, you need to make sure you don't tear in that line. Excuse me. Very, very windy here in Melbourne today. It was warm, but super windy. And we had lunch at a friend's place in Beaumaris, which is kind of 40 minutes from here. And coming back along the bay, it was so choppy out there. It was crazy. It looked like there was a heap of icebergs or something floating around in the bay. So I wouldn't have wanted to be out there today. Let's see, this is getting a bit close here. So that's what you're left with, a nice torn edge. Hello, who's here? Lynn, hi. Michelle, I have no life. No, you do. You have a great life. You're doing lots of crafting and you're learning lots. Hi, Shirley. Now I feel like there's no way I'm going to fill an hour doing this, but we'll see how we go. And if I finish that time, we'll do another little tag or something like that. Now, with her face, I don't want the colour to come through. So you've got a couple of choices. You can either pop it down on the page, but don't put any paint on here where her face is going to be. The other thing I like doing, which is a little sneaky thing, is I use this sand colour paint. It's an aquamarine paint, and it's kind of a good skin tone. So I paint the back of her face with this. And then you don't have to worry quite so much about where you're putting your paint on your page. I've got to be careful because if you put too much on, it bleeds through and then it ruins the picture. So I'll just sort of paint a bit of this on the back here. Sometimes I do white, but I kind of like this one. It's a bit sneaky and it kind of blends her in nicely. Maybe we'll do her neck as well. Don't put too much on, try not to make it too wet. So when you turn that over now, this might not be perfect, but when you turn it over, see she's got a nice colour to her face. Probably need to do a little bit more up here. Just up here. So that's my sneaky little tip with that. No one showed me that one. I actually worked that one out for myself, so I feel like I'm a little bit clever. Okay, so she's done. We need to pop her aside to get dry. Now the colours. So to choose the colours for this, I really need to choose what's in here. So that kind of looks like Kissy to me, so we'll grab Kissy. This is like a azure, but it's not very dark, so I'm going to grab azure and I'm going to grab mermaid, and I think we can kind of make up those colours. Yellow and orange maybe. I like this Tuscan colour. That's probably fairly close because orange is just too bright. That hot curry wouldn't work, it's the wrong colour. And yellow, which is happy. Still a little bit bright, but I'm sure that between all of these colours we can work something out and get something a little bit close to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some colour down on my page, and I'll try and I'll put her off to one side and down the bottom. I think I'll put her there. Yeah, I think that looks cool. So it's okay to put colour on the back of your page here to brighten to bring that pink up, because the colour will come through once we glue this down. So I'm going to use my fingers because I actually like using my fingers when I do these things. You just have to have lots of baby wipes on hand. This paper is quite textured. It's a bit like watercolour paper. And so it gives you a little bit of a pattern on there when you're doing that. Get the baby wipes out. And then I just pop this down every so often to see where things are sitting and how it's looking. I don't need to have colour over everything. It's alright if there's some white left on the page. I'll work out where I'm going to put her. There's a little bit of pink up here, so we might put a bit more pink on the page up here. And this is just really rough, doesn't matter, because we're going to put stencils and things over the top of this. Yep. And maybe get a little bit of pink around the page just to sort of bring a bit of colour in other places so that it matches up. Pretty rough, doesn't need to be anything special. And we'll add to this as we go along. The turquoise colour. There was some down here, so we'll put a bit of turquoise here. You can use a brush obviously, but I just like using my fingers. It's quick and easy. There's a bit up there. A bit of that colour over here. It's basically just putting it wherever you want it, but it blends your page and brings your collage into it so that it looks like it all matches. Oh, I can hear my cat trying to get into the garage. He likes to go in there, but he gets oil and stuff on him from our cars. Which he shouldn't have any oil, I guess, but anyway, he does. Okay. Now, maybe... Oh, thanks, Claudine. Hi, Sharon. Sharon's actually married, Sharon Peck is actually married to my husband's cousin. We've met each other a few times. Daphne, there's a few people here I've met, a few people I haven't, but I hope to meet a few more of you at the retreat next year, which will be really good. Okay, let's get some of this yellow on the page down here. Pretty sure this Tuscan will work pretty well. I want some up here. It came out quite heavy, quite fast, so I'm just going to smush it on here. It's not quite the colour I want, but we'll get some yellow on there as well, and it'll blend it all in. I find that it all works. It doesn't matter. It's you know, I'm going all over the place here just to show you that you don't have to be perfect. I only started doing all this stuff in our lockdowns in Melbourne, which were pretty long and terrible over those few years when we were all dealing with COVID and lockdowns. And so being a bit bored when I was at home, luckily I work at a school, so I was able to work through a lot of it, but I started doing this at home. And I used to sew all the time. I used to sew a lot, but now this has kind of taken over. And my sewing room is now my craft room, art room, and my sewing table doubles as a art table. And I think I said, if anyone tuned in yesterday, I've got a sheet of glass over my table so that it protects the table. I'm not liking this much, it's too bright, but we will get there. I think we'll put some of this teal on it. Not teal, it's called azure, but I think it's teal. And I promise you, I know this doesn't look fantastic at the moment, but normally they do by the end of it. I'll probably muck this one up and it'll be a horrible example. But I think there's only been one or two things that I've thrown in the bin. Usually they work out in the long run. I need to get some more colour up the top here. What will I use? I think I'll leave some white there and we'll just use a stencil over the top and bring in some more of these colours. Don't choose any more colours, there's enough on there. I know it looks very messy, but it will be better. I spent some time this morning sorting out my stencils, and I actually put them all into this folder because I had them back to front. I had all my collage paper in this little folder and my stencils in an A4 folder, and then I thought that's a bit silly because really these need to be in here, and it keeps them a lot better, and it keeps my collage papers flat in the other one, and they work a lot better. So what I'm going to use the ledger stamp later on, which is what's in the background of this, so that'll kind of bring it all together. But at the moment, I do like this one, which is called Gridlock, and it's number 21 NNS 300. So I need to get some more sort of more neutral colour down there. So this Tuscan that I really, really liked, I'm going to put some of that down over top of other things. Just to blend them all in a little bit. I'm just using a makeup sponge. I tend to use them flat like this. Some people use them that way. I'll use them this way and then I'll pick them up and use them on the other side by mistake and then end up with painted fingers. But anyway, we get there. I just want to bring in some of this colour that I've got in other places, or bring it into other places I should say, and tone down some of those bright colours. It's actually quite warm in here. This is drying very quickly. I know we've got a little bit of a shadow, but I think it's bearable. Let me know if you think otherwise. Oh, Ross is watching as well, Sharon. Now I'm going to be all nervous. I did see that he made a comment the other day, so I wondered if he'd watched. I think sometimes you feel better when you know you've got people out there that you know, but other times I think it makes you more nervous. And I'm actually nervous because my husband's at home, he's in the house, and I said I haven't got a door on this room, and I'm going to be so conscious of him being here. So he promised he'd go and hide in the office, but he hasn't yet. He's outside. First two layers are ugly layers. Yeah, you're probably right, because I really don't like this at all. But I know that this is going over the top. And then it won't look so bad. I hope. What else am I going to do? I'm going to put a bit more of Mermaid on there. I don't know my colours off by heart. I know some of them, but I'll put some Mermaid on there. And here I'm going to try and use the bottom of the sponge and try not to get too much on my fingers. And I'm just going to stick with that same stencil at the moment. Has everybody had a busy day? Well, ours was very busy, and we went out last night with friends as well. There was 20 of us went out for dinner at a really nice Chinese restaurant. It was absolutely beautiful. It was good to catch up with everybody too. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. Still not loving it. Maybe we need a bit of kissy. It's going to end up bright, and I didn't actually want to do a really bright page, but you know, that's me. And sometimes I end up doing something totally opposite to what I start doing. And I also don't usually plan my things, so it's a bit hard because I normally just come and sit down at my desk and start working and see where it takes me. Oh, I've got the squeaky chair. I've got to get a new one. Just refresh my page again. See who's around. South Africa, Marianne. Oh my goodness. What's the time of day over there? It's, as you know, 7:30 here in, well, it's 7:30 in Melbourne. It's 7 o'clock in Adelaide. Now, my other favourite stamp is this one, which is Brick Wall, and its code is 24NMS773. So we're going to put a bit of this in here just to get some of this kissy on the page. I'm not going to wash my stamp. I'm just going to use the same one. So if it goes a little bit mauvey, it really doesn't matter. Because if you mix turquoise and pink, you'll get mauve. But I don't mind. So let's do a little bit on here. Coming out brighter than I expected. Maybe I should call this live what not to do. It's not going to be the most brilliant thing in the world, I don't think. I don't want too much of anything on here. I just want a little bit just to bring the colours in. And to tone some colours down, I guess. But as I said, it's going to end up with a lot more on here than what I had anticipated. Can't quite match that up, but that will do. Maybe down here. Yeah, so busy weekend trying to do all these things. We were out Friday night, Saturday night, and again today we had this beautiful lunch at a friend's place. And then I've been trying to watch all of these live posts as well, these live classes, and advertise a little bit, let people know what's going on. So it's been a super busy one. I'm glad I'm not going to work tomorrow because I'm actually on long service leave, so I've got time to play at the moment. And I'm retiring in April, so I don't even have to go back, which is amazing. Okay. I feel like I've forgotten to do something because it's not quite my normal run-of-the-mill page that I do, so we will see how it turns out. I'm just going to pop these paints back so they're out of the way. Very hot in South Africa. Queensland, Karen, you've had so much rain up there. Just windy here today, quite warm, which was lovely. Yeah, Claudine, that image is absolutely beautiful. I love it. The beautiful girls. I have a friend called Janelle, so I should actually give it to her. So I'm going to start sticking her down and see how she looks at the end here. Some of that colour will come through. I've left a fairly good space there, but some of it will probably come through onto her face. But that's okay. It just looks like there's a little bit of a glow on her. So when you pop these down, you need plenty of gel medium. You'd wait for this to dry normally, but at the moment it's actually quite warm in here. It's only 20 outside, but the house feels really warm. I've got doors open, and you can probably hear my wind chimes in the background. That's out on our deck, but I can hear them. So apologies if they're annoying. And where do I want her to sit? I think I want her off the page a bit more, over to the right. And I'm going to line up this line here from the ledger so that it's fairly straight. Otherwise she'll look really weird. So at this stage you've still got a bit of play in it. You need to make sure you get rid of all of those, any lines in there. Any creases, I suppose, not lines. And you can either put your medium straight onto your piece of collage, or you can put it onto your page, or a bit of both. As long as you've got it everywhere so that she's well stuck down. Sometimes I just use a bit of paper towel or something here to smooth her while I'm doing this bit. And we will put a layer of gel medium on top of her as well at the end. So Claudine, have you put a few orders in this weekend while the specials were on? I hope so that you've got the benefit out of having all those discounts. I've put 3 orders in, one each day. I don't really know what I need, but I know what I want. So you just keep popping your gel medium, a thin coating. I'm finding everything's drying a bit quickly tonight, so normally if you've got plenty on the edges, you can't see those white edges. So I'll just dab at it like this and it sort of hides them. But when you do your top layer, you can do that. I seem to be using a lot of gel medium tonight. And so once you get it all down where you want it to be, then you can start smoothing it all down. Making sure she's all smooth. I've got a bit of a line across the middle there. I don't know how to get rid of that. That's just because the image has been folded up. And I'm finding that that's across a few of mine. I think that's why today it was a good idea to put them into the A4 folder, not the not the little A5 one. A bit of tissue paper there. I know it's a bit of gel medium that's dried up on my container. So yeah, smooth it out as much as you possibly can. If you need to put a bit more underneath, go for it. I sort of try to be a bit careful over her face and don't want to ruin any of the image, but at the edges I actually get a little bit rough with them because it smooths them down better and blends them in better. That's right, Claudine, white gesso underneath would have done that, but I kind of like a little bit of the colour coming through, so it just looks like, I don't know, lighting, a bit of shadow or something like that. And I'm not going to paint her hair, I'm just going to leave her as she is. So It's personal preference and nothing's right, nothing's wrong. That one there is too square for me, I don't like it, so I'm just going to tear a little bit out of there. Because it's got a really straight edge there, and straight edges are hard to hide. Wipe the gesso off your fingers as you go, because otherwise it dries with this plastic sheen on your fingers. Okay, that's not too bad. I actually like it better already. So now I might just hit it with my heat tool for a second, so just bear with me. I hope this isn't too noisy. It dries quite quickly. I probably should have put more white gesso on the back of her or down on my page, because there's quite a lot of colour has come through, but I don't mind. You know, I'm not a perfectionist, although my husband says I am. But I'm not a perfectionist, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. You know, they look nice in the end. Oh, Claudine, that's funny. That's very trusting. Yeah, and the stencils do bring it all together at the end. And once you get a bit of black on there, it's amazing how much difference it makes. So once that's all down and it's dry, I'll just finish putting my paints away. You can cut these excess bits off. I find it's best to cut from the back. You seem to get a better cut then you get closer to the edge. This paper out of this journal is not terribly thick, so you just got to be careful not to cut the edge of your paper. This is cutting off really well. It's really dry at the edge there because I didn't have any gesso on there. I mean any what do you call it? Gel medium. See, I told you I was tired. So there you go, it's looking better already. I'll cut that piece properly. Yep, do it from the back. I should practice what I preach, shouldn't I? Okay, I think we need a little bit more under there. And because I've already dried that, I don't want to get it all wet again. I'm just going to use a little bit of this multi-glue and put under that little piece. And this multi-glue is amazing. I wouldn't usually use my finger for this, but it's just a tiny little piece I wanted to stick down. And I'm looking at this and thinking I might need some leaves as well to actually blend it all in with the black. Yeah, her hair colouring's pretty good. Actually, I had a purple streak put in mine yesterday, so there you go. That was intentional. I can pretend it was intentional. Now you can see some of these white edges, which I don't like, so I just get a little bit of the colour that's near it on my finger and just sort of blend it in a little bit. Oops, see, that's a mess. Just going to pop that on my little bench top, and then I can get somewhere I need it. It won't come out. Draw it straight onto my finger. So I just blend it a little bit around that edge so it sort of gets rid of the white edge. Sometimes it makes it worse. See, I told you this live was of what not to do. That would be a fun one to do actually. Just put a little bit of paint around those edges so they don't sort of stand out so much. But as I said, once you get some more stamping and everything on there, if you bit of mark making, it'll hide all those things, all those edges. Sorry, I'm just checking your little messages to see if there's anything I need to respond to. So she's looking pretty. She looks brighter in the flash than she does on the screen, but I'm quite liking that. Okay, so I'm sure I'm not going to be going here for an hour. It's going very quickly. Okay, let's get some. Do I need any more stenciling over that? No, I think we'll just go with some stamps. So let me get some stamps out. Now this is the ledger stamp, which is actually what's on the background. And ledgers are really in at the moment. If you've been watching all of the things over the weekend, everyone's buying this ledger journal, which is just beautiful. And they're all sold out, but they will have more in. This is called Accounts Ledger. And so you can just, you know, put these into your background in the meantime while you're waiting for your beautiful new journal. So I'm not even going to take it off the plastic backing. I'm just going to use it as it is. And I'm using archival ink, the Ranger one. It can be any brand. This one's a black, of course. And I'm just going to ink this up and put some of this over the page just to blend everything in. I will try and match it up as much as I can with these things. It's not going to be perfect, obviously, but it'll match up a little bit. And I don't want it everywhere. So let's go. It didn't work terribly well, did it? A bit here. And we'll put some over here. And I want to take it up the page here, and I want some more up here to cover some of that. I wonder if I'm upside down. No, that's the right way, isn't it? Yeah. You sort of need to make sure you know which side your text is going. So we'll put some up here. I'll try not to put too much over her. See, it's already looking better, I think. Now, I'm no expert, but I quite like that. You don't want to put too much on. I get carried away sometimes. I think, oh, I should have stopped ages ago. I need some over those bricks because they're just too plain. What do you think? Enough? I think it's probably enough. Maybe a tiny bit more just along here. So yeah, already that makes her look better, makes the page look better. Yeah, open to suggestions if anybody thinks I should add some more or take some more. Oh, I can't take it off. Add some more or put something else on there, I don't know. And then I'm going to use some of these mark making stamps. Now this one is also one of Nat's, and it's called Won't Let You Down Stamp version 2. And so I'm just going to use some of these dots and put some dots around the page just to blend it all in and break it up a bit. Sorry about the noise. I do have a block here. I might use that so that it goes on a bit firmer. I'll use these big ones. And someone told me the other day, when I got these stamps, they didn't work terribly well. And then someone said to me, when they're brand new, you just need to rub them on your skin a little bit, and it seasons them, basically. So we're going to put some of these on here. There's no rhyme nor reason, you just put them where you feel like it. I will go where there's white edges, and I'm trying to get rid of those. You don't want to be too uniform with anything, otherwise it just looks, I don't know, too staged, I guess. I need some here. So I'll put some here, here, here. And that's looking pretty good. Maybe just some here. And just random things look better than if you have a pattern and you put everything in a certain design or a certain layout. It doesn't look as natural. So you just pop them where they look good, where you think that they might be nice, and don't go overboard, like I sometimes do. What else could be put on there? It's starting to look pretty good, I think. This one here is also in that stamp set, and it's just a row of dots. They don't really mean anything, but I'll just pop them on the page there, and maybe up here, just as another little focal point, I guess, something to look at when you're looking at the page. And then you might have a couple over this side. just to break it up a little bit. I think that looks fairly good. Because we've got these leaves here, I think it might be nice to have some leaves on there, so I might just see if I can find, I think I've got a stencil with leaves on it. I don't know that I've got a stamp, but I'll see what I can find and see how that looks. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Marilyn. It looks fantastic now. It didn't about 10 minutes ago. It's amazing what difference it makes when you put a few bits and pieces on the page. I don't know what sentiment I'm going to put on it yet, what sort of words. Now, I've got to find that note. I've got to find these leaf stamps. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I've just got this wooden stamp here with some leaves on it, and I'm going to put a few of them on there just to sort of accentuate the leaves that are already on there. This could ruin it, who knows. Doesn't really matter. When you're stamping, when you're inking your stamps, sometimes it's best to go this way because you can actually see then what you're doing. Let's have some coming in here from the bottom. There you go, quite like that. Might have some here. Yeah, just over here. Up at the bottom there, just to sort of blend it all in and go with that theme. I want to put a couple up here, but I don't want the whole lot, so I'm just going to put a bit of paper on there just to cover that, and we'll just pop some here, and then that will probably be enough. Maybe not perfect, but anyway, doesn't have to be perfect, as I said. And this is where I say, okay, you need to stop, because I tend to keep going and overdo things. And something that looked amazing 5 minutes ago suddenly looks really cluttered and like there's too much on the page. So we will stop there. Probably need a little bit of white on the page. It's not too bad on this one because we've got white here, here, here. Sometimes I finish my pages and there's no white whatsoever. And you really need to, hang on 1 second. Oh. Would you believe that was just somebody walking past outside talking quite loudly? I thought it was a telly or something. I was about to yell at Pete. Okay. Oh, okay, an eraser. I haven't heard of that. Yeah. So I don't know, it seems to have worked when I've just sort of rubbed a stamp on my arm a little bit like this, and one of the other girls, I think Sandra Shaw maybe, told me that. So I thank her for that. Now I'm not 100% wrapped in this, I can still see the edges of my paper here, which is not something I really like, so I might just grab another stencil and put just a little bit more colour on top of that to try and hide it. It's a bit hard adding more paint at this stage because it's likely to show up and look a bit weird. What can I put? Oh, I know what I'll do. I've got to be very careful not to put too much on here because then I will really regret it. I might go with Kissy, which is this pink. And I'm just going to put a couple of little marks on there, a few mark making marks to try and hide that a little bit. So another sponge, it's actually clean, but it's got paint on it. I'm just going to put like a couple of little crosses on there. That's good. And you can't really see them, they just kind of blend in, but they do cover that white edge because I hate seeing that white edge. So you can put whatever you want on here. That one didn't go very well. And of course you need to kind of bring them up the page a bit so that they don't just look like they're random down there. And my paint's dried up, I didn't put enough down. See, this is where it's trial and error and it's hit and miss sometimes and there's no right from wrong. So if you are crafting along or if you're new to this, it doesn't matter. You just practice and play, and eventually you get things the way you want them. I can't get that to line up. Oh, what have I done? Now I've probably got too much paint. You're under pressure when you're doing this on film. And let's put a couple down here as well so the others don't just look like they're just random. This is when everybody needs to tell me to stop because I'm going too far. On there. Oh, that's good. I like that one. On there. Yeah, I like them. They kind of blend the page in quite well. You could have used any colour there. You just choose one of the colours that's in your page. Could have used black, but I figured there was enough black on there. Get rid of this paint. What I should be doing, as Tegan said in one of her demos, if you've got extra paint, just have a tag or something set beside you and just use your stencils onto that tag so you've got all of these pre-prepared backgrounds. So I will do that, Tegan, but at the moment, because I'm doing this demo, I've got stuff everywhere. Normally I'm very tidy. Anyway, we're getting there. So I actually think that looks quite nice. So what I would do now is go around the edges with a Stabilo All pencil, which is a black pencil which just puts like a shadow around the edge. I ordered a new one of these today when I put my order in because mine is getting very short. I need my pencil sharpener. And I find that these sharpen better in that big hole in your pencil sharpener rather than the small one. I don't know why, but they do. And so with this girl, just to make her stand out a little bit so it doesn't look like she's just stuck on the page, you just go around the edges. Oh wow, can you hear the birds? It's outside in the trees. I might have to shut that front door, I think. So you just go around the edges. You can do little extra bits, whatever you want. Excuse me when I shut this front door. Sorry about that, that's a bit quieter. The cat won't be happy though now because he was sitting there looking out the screen door at all the birds. And he's an indoor cat, he's not allowed out, so he loves looking outside at all the birdies. He's white, pure white, his name's Casper. Okay, so yeah, you just go around here, do whatever you want. You can put more hair strands in if you want to make it stand out more. I'm not a drawer, so I can often muck these up doing this stuff. So that's a bit weird there. I don't know where that should go. So around here it's all fine. And then if you want to, you can activate this pencil with water and it just makes it stand out a bit more. You just get a fine brush and go around the edges. A bit of water and you go around the edge and it just activates that pencil and puts in a shadow. And when I'm doing this, it looks like it's very dark, but it actually fades once it dries. And it just gives you a little outline, a bit of a shadow. Some people just do a shadow around the right hand side or the left hand side, and it just brings it up a bit brighter and makes your image pop, so it doesn't look like it's just sitting on top of the page. So just do a few little lines around the place. If you're really good at drawing hair or whatever, you could you know, draw your hair in a bit more, or so I'll probably muck that up at the top, I don't know. Seems to be alright. The other thing you can do this with is one of these water pens, which I picked up the wrong thing. A water pen. And then you don't have to keep dipping your brush. It's just, the water just comes through. And I actually used one of these water pens this afternoon to try Tegan's, what she did this afternoon, where she dipped it into water-soluble pencils, pens, whatever they were, crayons. And it works really well. It was really good. I haven't done that before, so that will probably do. If I play with it too much, it will make a mess. And then like here, I haven't done a terribly good job of that, so you can actually just smudge it with your finger. Or wipe it off if you're really unhappy with it. and when it dries it will just give you a shadow anyway. It won't be a solid thing. I haven't done that very well because I usually turn around and do it this way so that you can work really close to the edge, but I've mucked that one up a bit. That's okay, I can deal with that. Okay, now what next? I usually colour in their eyes, give her a bit of eye colour. I think she needs brown eyes, this girl, so you can use whatever you like, a coloured pencil, or I wouldn't go using markers or anything like that. I like these Inktense pencils, which Nat will have some sort of version. They're just a waterproof or water reactive pencil. I'm going to give her brown eyes because she looks like she should have brown eyes. So I just colour in the irises of her eyes. And look, I know you can't really see that very much, but you can see that they're now brown. So then sometimes I just dab it with a wet wipe or with this water pen. You just go around there and this activates that coloured pencil, and it actually, once it's dry, it's set, it's permanent. Oh yeah, she looks good with brown eyes. What about Lippy? Does she need Lippy? Seeing we've got a pink background, maybe we'll just give her slightly pink lips. So once again, I'm doing this with a water activated pencil. You can use any pencils. I just like these. So give her a bit of colour in her lips. And then, see how you can't see it very much, it's just very pale. If I go like this, it brings it up. It just sets it, makes it really bright. Bright pink lips to match her colours in her hair. But see how it's bled a little bit there? You've just got to be really careful, and that has bled. There's nothing I can do about that now. But yeah, you just got to be careful with that. If I dab it with a bit of paper towel. Yeah, so don't look too close. It'll be okay from a distance. Not much I can do to fix it. So see, you're allowed to make mistakes. I think she's looking quite pretty. Now she needs a border and she needs some words. I'm not quite sure what words we're going to put on there yet. I also like to, I'm just going to dry it with the heat tool for a second. And those images of Nats are just so beautiful that it's really hard not to make good art with them. They're beautiful and it makes your life easy, and it looks like you've drawn it and you can be very proud of them. So what I do now, once she's dry, I'll go back and I'll put the whites back in her eye, the little white patches. I think they've got a name, don't know what they're called. It's just like little reflective patches in her eyes. Just makes them more realistic. I struggle to find a good white pen. I've ordered a new gel pen from Nat today or yesterday, so hopefully it'll work. But these Life of Colour ones are good too. They're easy to ruin though if you use them on your page when it's still damp. I'll put some in the whites of her eyes as well. And if you muck it out, you've got gel medium on the top, so you can actually wash it off if you're quick enough. That looks right. And then, like, I wouldn't go and put white on her teeth or anything because that would make it look really weird. Okay, so for a border, you can do whatever you want for your border. You can use a paint pen, you can use a permanent marker, you can use one of these ones. These are one of my favourites, but they do a very fine scribbly border. But I think this page, because it's a bit bigger, I think it needs a bit more than that. So I'm going to do, I don't know, that's probably too thick. Yeah, that's too thick. I'm going to use a permanent marker, and it's a nice fine one. So all I do for their borders is I do a scribbly line up and a scribbly line back. And I want it to be messy. I want it to look like it's scribbled. It's not trying to be straight. If I tried to do a straight line, I'd never get it right. And if I actually did rule a straight line, I don't know, it doesn't look as good. I used to always rule my lines, and I used to do really thick black borders, but I've changed. And you evolve over time. Put a line on. I think I want that one thicker, so we'll go across that again. And once you've got these borders on, it just finishes things really well. See, just rough. I'm going to do a few little scribbles. Bit of a scribble here, just because there's a little empty space there. And the scribbles just make it look nice and, I don't know, scribbly. So that's quite cool. Just wondering whether I need to get some more white on there. I'll probably do some splatters or something later on so that there is some white. What that little mark is there. Okay. Oh, the classes have been great, haven't they, Mandy? I've learnt a lot too, which is really good. Been a busy one. I'll look through the comments again later too and get back to anybody that I might have missed. What else can I do here? Sometimes too, one of the things I do on my borders is I just do, you know, a few little lines here and there, just something like that. When I put those leaves on there, I didn't do them very dark, so they're not fantastic. You could draw over them to make them stand out more, but I'm okay with that. It looks more like a shadowy sort of area, shadowy border. I actually like those pink crosses that I put on. I think they look good. So just a few little marks. Mark making's cool. It just makes things pop. They're going for time. Oh wow, time's gone really quickly. So white. We do need some white on there. I might get that little fine paint pen again, this Life of Colour one. And what I'm going to do is where these crosses are, I'm just going to put a bit of white on them, a white cross. And I don't think they're dry enough, so they're not going to work well with this pen. Well, my pen's not going to work well. Or the lighten out won't work. I'll go to this one. These are awesome. These are duo acrylic markers. So each one's got different ends. This is a black one and a white one. I've got two purples, it's light and dark, the pinks, and a blue. So let's go with this white one. And these, you don't have to shake them or anything. You don't have to prime them. They just work straight away. That looks better. And I figure if I do some of these, I need to do all of them. Not working perfectly, but that's okay. The pink one might be pretty to do some dots or something. So let's go a few dots around here. I might put some dots on this side as well now, so I've done that. And carry them out onto the page somewhere so that they all sort of follow through and blend in. Because this is a bit bare up here, I'm going to put some dots. Maybe up here as well. Don't get carried away. I missed that cross there, I didn't put any white on him. This white hasn't worked terribly well. I think it needs to dry a bit more before I can put that on, so I'll touch that up later. We're nearly done with this, so what am I going to put on there? What sort of words? Oh, thank you. Claudine, Marianne saying it's beautiful, stunning. I'll just do a refresh and see if I've missed any comments that I need to talk about. Not 100% sure I like those dots there. But I don't know if I can get them off yet. Off now. No, they're not going to come off. So we're just going to have to live with them. So yeah, sometimes you do things and you just don't really like it. Other times you love it. But she's pretty. I just think those dots look a bit silly. And they won't come off. So knowing me, I will go back over that later and put some black over them so that you can't see them. Because it's not quite what I wanted. But apart from that, I think she's pretty much done. So words, any ideas what words I could put on there? Where's these words that we've got? These are some of Nat's beautiful words. They're cuttables and you just cut them up to whatever you want to do and put them on there. They're quite big. So some of these would work on this page because it's a big page and a nice big sentiment with white around it would probably look really nice. So any suggestions? We just use beautiful. She is quite beautiful. I don't know if my work's so beautiful, but I think it's okay. Positive, play. Yeah, play's a good one. Confident, happy, creativity. I don't know. Any ideas? Any suggestions for my words? Show up. Play, colour. What have we got on here? This would match. Some of these would match quite well, but it might be much colour. Repeat, experiment, shine, different. Don't know. Come on, girls. I need some suggestions. Beautiful, but it's too small. We need something bigger than that. Or a little saying or something. What else have we got we can use? That's the hardest thing sometimes, for me anyway, is trying to choose what sentiments to put on your pages. We've got these ones as well. Art, fearless, positive, play, beautiful, repeat, different. Fearless. Fearless is a good one. Oh, I have got a fearless here. Okay, let's go with fearless. I thought I had one of them cut out actually. I have. Fearless. And I reckon I would have enough room on this page to find some other little sentiment to put down here that complements that. So we might go with fearless and then find something else that matches it. Fearless. Let me see, what have we got? Let me overthink this. I'd like to announce that I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Not quite true. Fearless, fearless. I don't know, I think we'll go with fearless, but then I'll find something else to pop on the screen. Once we're off screen, I'll find something else to pop on there. And I think I'm going to put some white splatters on there. So once I've finished with those, I will post some photos for you later on. Fearless. Yeah, anyway, anybody got any questions that they want me to answer? I can try and answer your questions. I don't know it all, obviously, but I'm learning as we go. And as I said, I only started doing this during lockdowns, and I'm self-taught just through watching everybody's beautiful demos and practicing. Practicing is a huge thing. So yeah, any ideas, any questions? I hope you've enjoyed this little class, because it's the last one. I got to do the first one for the weekend and the last one, apart from all Nat's ones, of course. But of us girls that are the ambassadors for Nat, we've had a really good time. Tegan's done some lovely posts, and Megan's, oh God, and Naomi, and it's been really good. I've enjoyed it. Well, if there's no questions, my hour is up, would you believe? I've got 1 minute to go. How punctual am I? Okay, so let's leave her at that. I stick that down with the sticky glue. We can do that bit now. I think that looks nice up there actually. Thank you, Sharon, for your idea. So you just put your sticky glue on your piece of card. If I was just putting a black one down, I'd put a white border around it, but this is actually really good because it's got black and white. It doesn't need a border. Fearless. Now I'm going to find another little saying to go down here, and I'm going to, I shouldn't have put fearless on until I've done my white splatters, but I can cover that up at the time, and obviously I'll cover her face as well. So if everybody's okay and doesn't have any questions for me, we'll call it quits and get online and order yourself some more specials, because I think you've got till midnight. So there's all the specials. So do your last few orders before your time runs out. And if you've done one over the weekend already, you'll have a code that you can put in and you'll get free delivery. Not on the whole lot. You'll get delivery on the first one, and then the other things will be added to your delivery up to 1.5 kilos, I think it is. So yeah, have some fun, do some art, and feel free to ask any questions anytime. Thanks guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Have a good week.